Vision Plus. Without a vision, the people perish. And we have an exciting show for you today. We're going to first meet a professional fisherman. That's what I call him. Hey, he's caught bigger bass fish than most people in this area. Also the owner of Monrovia Body Shop. And then we're going to have an opportunity to meet an exciting new star. I call him a star. He's the star of our area anyway, and of the Grand Ole Opry. So we'll meet him in just a few moments. First of all, let's meet Garland Wharton of Monrovia Body Shop. Welcome.
How are you doing?
Doing terrific. Now, I know you painted my car and did a beautiful job, and I want to hear about what all you do at Monrovia Body Shop,
Well,
Garland.
we fix wrecks, we paint automobiles, we do just about everything that an ordinary body shop does.
And in addition to doing that, you have this exciting, well, I guess it's exciting, machine that mixes paint to the nth degree. You can't tell it from when it came off the line. It might even be more a better job than when it
Right, it's the new paint machine that's come out, computer mixer, and we mix our own colors to match the cars.
Then you've got one of those $25,000 deals that stretches
Frame
the frame.
machine, yeah, it's
and that's all to give you time to go fishing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it helps, yeah. But the mainest thing is getting the people's car fixed neat
That's right.
and right like they're supposed to be before they was wrecked.
Well, hey, that happens to little rain every once in a while. We have these fender benders all the way to pretty good-sized crashes, don't we?
Right,
But
right.
you can make it all beautiful again, and no man will yell at his wife because you'll fix it up good as new or better.
Right.
Like what I did, I got the garage door, came down on my hood. That wasn't too bright, was it?
Well, that's
It
accident.
gave you a job.
Yeah, accidents happen.
Yeah.
But our first priority in this job is to fix the cars safe. Then the next one is satisfy the customer and the insurance if we have insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to fix the cars back.
How
like
long
they're
you been
supposed
doing this, Garland?
30 years.
And how'd you get started as an entrepreneur?
Well, I started out when I was young, and then I worked in body shops, just stayed with the job, and I worked 2 jobs to get mine, and then I
Get the
hired
money to get yours.
the very best men that I could get to work for me.
And you're a team player, aren't you? You'll do anything that the other guys have to do.
Well, yeah, they act like I'm not even their boss. I mean, you know, we all work together. You got to.
Well, you know, Garland, I know something else. Am I allowed to say that you've been chosen by Kmart?
Right.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what
Well,
happened
they
there.
chose me they sponsored me in fishing
Uh-huh.
to try out their lures, and they have got Madison Kmart is who it is. They call me the Madison, Alabama Kmart fisherman.
Uh-huh.
Boy, they got their shelves lined up with fishing equipment. Anything people want, they got it done.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got a beautiful bass boat that you can go catch those fish with, too.
Well, yeah, but first you got to find them after you get out there.
And you know where to do that, too, I believe.
Sometimes. I'm not a professional. I'm just a weekend fisherman.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
wrong to use that terminology.
Well, yeah, it sounds
it
good,
sounds
but-
professional to me, the fish that you've been able to catch. I've seen
I
some of
also
those on
catch
your
other
wall.
fish, you know, for brim, crappie, stuff like that. I'm just
So
plain
you-
fisherman.
Yeah, weekend fisherman after you work a 60 or 70
Right.
hour week. Huh?
Right. They gave me a new name, Kmart Fisherman.
Kmart Fisherman.
Right.
Garland Wharton of Monrovia Body Shop, the Kmart Fisherman. And if you want to have an opportunity to see what he's talking about, you'll want to go to the Madison Kmart. And perhaps you'll even get to find out how Garland Wharton finds those secret places where all the brim, crappie, and bass are biting. And at least we'll find out. And thank you very much for coming. We're going to have in just a moment Harvey Perdue, so I want you to hang around and see him also. And we'll have him, he's going to be singing for us something that he's been singing in, well, for a long time, but also I think on the Gospel Hour, the Nashville Gospel Hour, if I have it wrong, he'll correct me. And it's a new CD that's out, and maybe there's a possibility that you can have one of those CDs. And just joining me on stage right now is Harvey Perdue. Harvey, welcome. Welcome to Vision Plus. Yes. Well, tell me a little bit about how this hit CD came to be.
Well, we started about 2 years ago. I started doing a demo session with Gary S. Paxton on a song that Bill Burns, you've had Bill Burns on
yes.
the program. that Bill and Gary had written, and it simply was going to be just a song demo to pitch to groups. And we finished it, and Gary handed me the tape, and he said, take this song home and really learn it and come back and let's see what we come up with. So I took it home and I worked on it for about 2 weeks, and I went back in the studio and we re-recorded it. About 2 weeks later, he called me and he said, I got something I want you to hear. So I went back to the studio, and he had added a full band behind it. And we began to, work toward a project. And we were just kind of doing a demo project, and the next thing we know, just about a year ago, we finished it completely. And it has been shopped to several labels. And we just had our first radio CD, go out about 3 weeks ago.
Now, how many radio stations and where all and what all are those?
Totally to 3,800 stations. It was sent to 2,000 country in the U.S. It was sent to 1,200
2,000 radio stations in the United States.
Yes, ma'am. It was sent to 2,000 country stations in the U.S., 1,200 gospel in the U.S., 400 country stations in Canada.
Oh, in Canada.
And 200 in Europe.
Oh, wow.
And the strange thing about it, Bonnie, is this song is a country gospel song called It Wouldn't Miss Heaven for the World, but yet it's on a country CD with country artists. And we're believing the Lord that it's going to even play on the country stations. So far, so good. I do have a complete project that will be coming out, and some of those songs I have helped to write. Having a lot of fun, and
go ahead. He's wanting to change mics with you there.
He's wanting to change mics.
Well, we're allowed to do that. Hey, that brightens the place up anyway. Matches my hair and your boots. Thank you very much, John. We appreciate it.
But we're believing the Lord that it is going to reach the country audience. It's almost to the place today with so many of the country music stars accepting Christ, and will it really being filled with the Spirit, that there is a mesh between gospel music, as far as what we know as country gospel, and the country music world. Ricky Skaggs, Ricky Van Shelton. I was reading an article the other day. Charlie Daniels is recording his first gospel album, and I really believe that the Lord is moving in the midst of the country stars. And I almost stop and think, Bonnie, that it could be the evangelist of the end time.
Wouldn't that be exciting? I tell you, I was there in Nashville when Dolly Parton had her hit, and she used the Christ Church choir behind her, and that was really an exciting time. My daughter had just gotten back from Russia. She had helped to take 1 million Bibles, and we were up there for one of those events, but one of them was to actually get to see that, and that was, let's see, Climbing High. What was the name of that song? It just totally went somewhere, but Climbing Higher.
I know the song you're talking about.
And anyway, it was a country gospel song, and it was really
well, the amazing thing about it is when you see people such as Dolly Parton, their testimony to the world. If there ever was a day that we need heroes, it's today. And when you look at those people and you see them all of a sudden with the wealth of the world, and they have tried everything there is to offer, and they find that Jesus Christ is really the only thing that really satisfies.
Oh, that's exciting to hear you say that. Harvey Perdue, you know, you've heard we need to walk our talk. I want to hear you sing your talk. So let's hear from you.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What are you going to do?
Well, there's a song that I wrote. It's kind of a...
Are we going to get to hear the CD song, or we have to
yes.
just... Well, all right, I'd like to hear both of them.
Well, I'll tell you what. If that's okay, I'll do a song that I wrote with Gary Paxton.
All right.
It's a gospel Texas swing,
Gary
if you've ever
Paxton
heard of that.
is another story, too. He's the one that did Monster Mash,
Monster
isn't he?
Mash,
I don't think
Alley-Oop.
anybody's old enough to remember that, but I do.
At this moment, he has a
But now
song
he's
on
a Christian.
Mark Chestnut, the old song that Don Gibson recorded. Gary recorded on Don Gibson, Woman, Sensuous Woman. It was a big hit for Don Gibson. Mark Chestnut has re-recorded it, released it March the 3rd, and it's 47 on the charts nationally today.
That's exciting. So what are you going to sing for us first?
I'm going to sing Wings of Peace.
All right. And then what are you going to sing after that?
Then I'll try I Would Miss Heaven for the World, the CD
Okay, the
release.
CD release. Is there a place where people can get that?
At this moment, we are right now working with some distributors. I should have product in the area here within probably the next 30 days.
Probably maybe get in touch with Mike Mays, and he
Mike
could take the
Mays, yes.
number, because he's your promotion
Yes.
man, and he could take the information.
That's right.
And so Mike Mays can be gotten at 205-536-5683, and we'll give you more of that information. And I want to also remember to give the number for our friend Monrovia Body Shop, too,
Yes.
Garland Wharton. So now we're going to hear Man of Peace.
Wings of Peace.
Wings of Peace.
Wings of Peace.
Okay.
Okay?
Harvey Perdue in Wings of Peace. Now, I think you might have backed up right out of the...
I might have backed up.
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
need to
you went forward. There you go. Now you're okay. You went forward and it went totally off the screen. Jerry Paxton write this one?
I wrote this with Gary.
Oh, with
I
Gary.
wrote this with Gary. I searched this world over and I tried to find peace and contentment for a troubled mind. But every way I turned, it was a dead-end street, till I fell down on my knees at Calvary. Now I'm flying high on wings of peace. The winds of the Spirit carry me. He's with me everywhere, and I don't have a care, flying high on the wings of peace. The things of this world, they don't bother me. With Jesus, I soar high above those things. Heaven draws closer through eyes of faith. I see, flying high on the wings of peace. Yes, I'm flying high on wings of peace. The winds of the Spirit carry me, and He's with me everywhere, and I don't have a care, flying high on the wings of peace. I said He's with me everywhere, and I don't have a care, flying high on the wings of peace. I'll go into the other.
Okay.
And this is the
Wouldn't
song.
miss heaven for the
I
world.
Wouldn't Miss Heaven for the World. This is a song that Gary and Bill wrote. And this is our new CD release. This world is so enticing and pretends to give such joy, but pain and disappointment are waiting round the bend. Of all the so-called freedom and glitter and bright lights, but phony freedom never tells you that hell is at the end. No, I would miss heaven for the world. I wouldn't miss the face of Jesus or neon lights and wine.
I just can't trade those cheap thrills for eternal gates of pearl. No, I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. Where does heaven fit in your world? Do you feel God's love within? When His Spirit tries to reach you, do you stop and take the time? Do you dwell on things eternal? Does your soul belong to Him? Or is running in the fast lane all that is on your mind? No, I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. I wouldn't miss the face of Jesus for neon lights and wine. I just can't trade those cheap thrills for eternal gates of pearl. No, I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. I'm not willing to trade anything for heaven's priceless pearl. No, I would miss heaven for the world.
Harvey Perdue, and I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. Come on and join us and tell us how that came about, that they wrote the song and you decided to sing it.
Well, all of a sudden they kind of picked it for me.
Oh, okay.
Well, Gary told me one day, he
Gary
said...
Paxton you're talking about.
Yes, Gary Paxton told me, he said, when I write a song, I begin to look for an artist to sing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the Lord just meant for me to be that artist. And I was on the Grand Ole Gospel about 3 weeks ago, and I sang the song. And I had some of the country musicians walking up to me wanting to know if they could get a copy of it because of the message. I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. I wouldn't miss the face of Jesus for neon lights and wine. I just can't trade those cheap thrills for eternal gates of pearl. I wouldn't miss heaven for the world. And I think more and more as the Spirit of God deals in the music business, that is really what more and more people are looking at. The day of the old cowboy and the day of the old outlaws is gone. And there are people really committed to Jesus Christ that are trying to win people to
Now,
the
how
Lord.
would you know about the music and the wine and all of that, the night lights? What's Harvey Perdue been through? What's your
Well,
life been through?
for about 7 years. In 1983, I went to Nashville on a recording contract, which was gospel with Henry and Hazel Slaughter. I did an album, went through a bad time of my life, and had been in the ministry, was raised in a preacher's home, and totally walked away from the church.
That's your problem, PK, preacher's kid.
A preacher's kid, meanest kids in the world, they told me.
That's what they said about me.
So I totally walked away from it. And for a period of about 7 years, I sang country music. I sang in all type of clubs, bars, and everything. And it may sound strange, I didn't drink a drop of liquor until I was 31 years old. And I found myself there. And all of a sudden, the Lord sent a lady into my life. I had went through a divorce, and the Lord sent a lady into my life, and she was different. There was something different about her.
Was she didn't come in the bars, surely.
No, she was really against that. And she's from the big city of Cross Plains, Tennessee, north of Nashville. But for some reason, well, she was raised Methodist and Baptist, and for some reason, we hit it off. I was playing a restaurant opening, and that's where I met her. And I noticed something different. And after I'd met her, about 6 months later, that old life of playing in the bars and the nightclubs, it didn't have any appeal.
And the drinking.
And the drinking. It didn't have any appeal, and I found Harvey really looking at his roots.
We should have had Garland Wharton to tell what he had done on an earlier show where he told about time in his life when he's drinking, and now he doesn't drink, and he's got, you know, his life turned around. So I think that's exciting to hear that.
Well, my mom and dad, during the time I was away from the Lord, both passed away.
Oh.
Daddy had preached for 37
Did
years.
he not get to see you come back to the Lord?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't, but I
They
believe...
just had the promise.
But they know. They know. Daddy kept telling me, he said, son, it's going to be okay. One of these days, it's going to be all right. Everything's going to work out. Mama went into a stroke and laid for 2 years. Didn't know she's in this world. And my wife and I, when I had met her, we had a little baby girl. And standing in the hospital in Nashville, the Lord spoke to me, and I hadn't heard his voice in almost 7 years. And all he said was, Harvey, I love you. And I held that little girl in my arms, and I couldn't hardly contain myself. And I left the hospital, and I cried all the way home. And I said, God, if you can use this old broken man, if there's anything you can do with him, Lord, I want you back in my life. And that was in 1988. And God has done miracles for us. It's just been unbelievable. Like this album, Gary S. Paxton, my producer, one of the greatest producers in the world, produced Vern Gosdin, produced Fleetwood Mac, all the country artists, and Harvey Perdue. It's amazing that all of a sudden that God would let Bill Burns and Gary S. Paxton cross our life. God has put us in touch with some great people, Mike Mays, yourself, and I feel like sometimes we're tied to a rocket. Things just explode around us, and it's all in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Well, Howard and John make it possible too, and here the TV station here. So, you know, it takes all of it.
That's
One
right.
couldn't do it without
That's
the
right.
others, could we?
That's right.
We need each other, and that's the way the Lord placed it. How did you and Mike get to know each other?
It's really amazing. I was sent to Huntsville back in September of '92. The company I worked for, Signature Flight Support, won the award from the airport. And so I came down to check out the new fuel farm and to look over the base. Came back to train the people at the base. We kept the employees, and I was sent down to train for 2 months, and that's how I met Mike. And it was really amazing that from the moment we met, I was raised Pentecostal Holiness. Mike was raised Church of God, identical churches in doctrine and belief, identical. And it was just like all of a sudden I'd found a long-lost brother that I didn't know I had in the state of Alabama. And we love Mike and his family. You know, it's hard to get even with him sometimes, but I have been able to. Really,
Get
I have.
even with him?
Get even with him.
I need to hear that story.
I'll have to tell you about it.
Okay, well, how about right now? I want to hear it right now. Because I'm afraid we get off the set. I won't get to hear it. He won't let us because he'll be chasing us all around the studio. Sitting over there, we should have made him come over here, too.
Well, the thing that he did to me, and that was the reason I got even with him, is we went on some company business to St. Louis, and we walked in the men's room. And, you know, I'm from Tennessee, and I'm not used to these sensors on the faucets. Well, I'm looking for the handles, and he just stands and laughs. And finally, he wants to charge me to tell, so he can tell me how to get the water on. I think he tried to make me think he was a miracle worker because he said, if you'll just stick your hands under that faucet, watch it.
Man, how'd you get even with him? We got to hear that one, too.
Well, we ended up in St. Louis at the airport, and our bus that we were right on was gone.
Uh-oh.
And we ended up in this old '69 Chevrolet station wagon cab with a drunk Mexican driving. And Mike, you know, he's pretty good size, and the car was full, so we literally, he looked at me and he said, you get in the middle. Well, I just looked at him and I said, seniority rules. I have 10 years with the company. So Mike had to get into the center of the cab with the rack, and it just so happened that the driver had a 12-inch TV sitting in the middle. So Mike scoots it over, and the driver gets in and hands the TV to Mike and said, hold this. For about 40 miles, Bonnie, I got even with him.
He had to sit there in the middle.
Move. He couldn't move.
This TV, I can just see it now. Hey, he better be nice to us after we get off the set, because I'll tell about him impersonating Elvis Presley in
I
church.
want to see that. I
Hey,
wanna see
that was awesome. I'm telling you, it was the most hilarious thing. Here he comes out here with this wig and this gold lame on costume that I guess Kathy and Nicole and Noel had made for him. And he had these sunglasses. I tell you what,
But did he look like Elvis?
He did, and he sounded like him too. In fact, it was so hilarious. I believe I could sell that to the $100,000, you know, funniest video if we had it
Now,
on
Mike
video.
didn't know he was going to get in on this, did
Yeah, he didn't. He thinks he's over there
Pay-
safe.
payback time.
Yeah, right. We'll come over there to. Hey, he's a good man. He's principal of the school at the school and the church. He's a preacher.
Well, I really
church.
feel like that the Lord has really caused our paths to cross, because from the time we met, there was a kindredship, and I do appreciate Mike so much working with us in our music. I had the opportunity to take him backstage to the Opry, and
Got to say what church it's Faith Covenant. And
Faith Covenant.
Church and school. I was afraid I'd get off, and then he'd really shoot me. And but anyway, he got to go backstage.
We took him backstage, and
Whose autographs did he get? Did he tell him it's for his kids, or was it for him?
he told him it was for his kids.
It was
He
for
did.
him. I bet he's got
And-
them framed probably in his office.
I don't know why he was. He was looking for Dolly Parton,
Oh, was he?
But she
Who all
wasn't.
did he get to
but
see?
she wasn't there. He got to see Ricky Skaggs, and I think he got to see J.D. Sumner and the Stamps.
Hey, I tell
John
you what.
Connolly.
And he probably could be a comedian on the Grand Ole Opry
I'm
too.
going to try to get him there.
I tell you, he's a hilarious man, and acts as
I wonder
so
if he could do that
sophisticated.
Mexican, drunk cab driver act. We could call him Julio.
We better get off that subject and back to the CDs. I do want to mention that Garland Wharton's Monrovia Body Shop and Record Service is located 165 Capshaw Road in Madison, and that phone number is 205-837-7466. I want to thank him for coming out here and for the great work he's done, getting me out of trouble for letting the hood. Can you imagine that? Closing the garage door down on my car hood. I just sat there a little bit too long, and I had pushed the button too early, and there it came crashing down. Now, of course, don't tell anybody. You wouldn't tell anybody
No, I
that I
won't.
did
No, I
such a
won't.
stupid thing, would you?
I'm just really wondering if somebody hadn't programmed your garage door opener. I won't call any names, but
Really. It sounds like one of those that Mike Mays would have thought of doing, wouldn't it? He could have done that. I've heard of some of his tricks. But anyway, back to the CD. It's released now, and people may be able to get it if they need to get in. Would like to have a copy. They could get in touch with Mike Mays
yes, exactly.
at maybe over at the school, Faith Covenant School.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
there is a secretary over there that could answer the phone.
Now, I do know that the local radio stations do have the CD here, and it is playing in Jasper, Sherfield area, Florence, and I haven't had a chance to really listen in the area here, but
Too busy
but-
working
but
all
they
your
do
other
have it,
jobs, your
yes.
tent-making jobs. And I've heard you
Yeah.
preach over there at Faith Covenant, and you're really a dynamite person there, too. I appreciate it. But I really love hearing that no matter if you have kids that you wonder, are they ever going to come back to the Lord? Here is an example of one person that did. He was out, and his mother and daddy didn't get to see it when it happened, but they never lost faith that it would happen. They had that Abraham faith that this young man would be back serving the Lord. And that, I just love hearing those stories. They are so exciting to me that
Sometimes
the
I feel
miracles
like
they
when
can do.
I'm singing that I can all but see Mom and Daddy looking
Hey.
over the portals.
I believe that. I believe that as much as anything. And I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Harvey Perdue. And the name of the album is the song is I Wouldn't Miss Heaven for the World.
And
What's
the
the name?
album too. I Wouldn't Miss Heaven for the
okay.
World.
So that's the song and the album.
Yes.
So all they need to do is just maybe call the radio station and ask them if they played it and if they can get a copy for them. That'd be
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And we thank Mike Mays very much for coming to bring him out here. Mike is taking off from his jobs in order to help Harvey Perdue in promoting his record around the country. And we thank you for viewing today, and we thank Howard and John for being with us, and for Garland Wharton at Monrovia Body Shop helping to sponsor this program. And we will join you again the next time. I'm Bonnie Libhart. along with Harvey Perdue, Mike Mays, and Garland Wharton, and bless your heart for watching. We hope that you'll join us here on CHRM and Channel 17 anytime you have that opportunity. And thank Howard and John, bless your heart for watching us today. Stay tuned for the next program.
How many know the Lord is good to you? Huh? How many love the Lord tonight? Do you know He's good? Look at somebody and say, the Lord is good to you. Praise God. Do you know He's good?